Welcome back. You're watching The Money Show with me, Kavita Thapliyal. And now let's just talk about ELSS fund before we talk about your mutual fund portfolio queries. And for that, we will focus on ELSS funds, which are tax-saving equity mutual funds, which invest a major portion of their corpus into equity or equity-related instruments. So let's understand all of this with Gautam Kalia, Senior Vice President and Head Super Investor at Sharekhan by BNP Paribas. Good evening. Welcome to the show, Gautam. And we are going to talk about the best performing ELSS funds today. But then before that, let's understand the kind of universe that these funds have. Usually, people do look at the performance of ELSS fund, but the fact that you have a benefit of tax saving, that comes in the first priority whenever you're selecting an ELSS fund, and they think that just because it's a tax benefit, any kind of fund would be okay. So, what categories do these kind of funds have? Are they majorly flexi cap, multi cap? How diversified across market caps these funds are?
Yeah. So, Kavita, great. I think the first point that you touched upon, that people look at these funds predominantly from a tax saving perspective, and not what they are also meant to do. And I would argue that that's probably their objective, which is for long term wealth creation, and the incidental benefit is tax saving here because of the 3 year lock in. So yes, so that is a great point you raised. As far as the capping is concerned, there's typically they are flexi cap in nature and they work cross caps, but many of them operate in the large and mid space. That's where they focus on, because most of the ticket sizes are very retail. So they like to focus more on the large and mid space.
Mm-hmm. Currently, which are the top performing ELSS funds that you would want to talk about or maybe recommend to our viewers also?
So when we talk to our clients, because people are focused only on a 1.5 lakh allocation up to that, and many already have some certain contribution going, so they don't really put a very large number. So it's a very small allocation discussion in the portfolio. But otherwise, we look at ICICI Prudential Tax, we look at HDFC, SBI. These are two or three of the names that we look at. Typically, Nippon is also a good name that we consider as part of our funds we like, and we tell our clients on. But the core portfolio that we do is we obviously like to talk about other products besides tax saver, because we have the flexibility. People want that, the optionality of taking the money out whenever they want. They don't really, but still it's always better to have that flexibility. So otherwise, these are the 3-4 key names that we talk to clients about.
Gautam, also, how many ELSS funds can we have in our portfolio? Is it necessary that you need to have at least 2 or 3, or even one ELSS fund is fine, and till 3 years, as long as your money is invested, especially when SIP, you will get the benefit?
Yes, so there is no restriction in terms of number of funds, that if you have you need to have minimum 3, or you have to have at least 2. There's no such restriction. You can just put your money in one ELSS fund, and sometimes one is enough depending on the size of the portfolio that you are investing. So if you have, let's say, a 10 lakh rupee mutual fund portfolio, then one fund is more than enough, because you are probably investing 50,000 to 1 lakh there in a year. But if you have a 50,000 rupee mutual fund portfolio diversified across 5 different schemes already, and then you're putting additional money in ELSS, then you could probably even take a look at 2 or 3 schemes. So really it depends on the portfolio, how it's constructed. Otherwise, there's really no need to have so many schemes, ELSS schemes.
All right, so that was all about ELSS, but then let's move on to our viewer query. And we have Asif from Hazaribagh on phone line with us. Asif, hi, good evening. How are you doing?
Good evening, ma'am. Thank you. I'm fine.
Thank you so much for sending us your question. We have your list of funds in front of us. Is there anything else that you want to ask? For how many years you want to stay invested in this portfolio?
I want to invest it for long term, at least 15 years.
At least 15 years. All right. Gautam, you have the funds in front of you. It's Parag Parekh Flexi Cap, UTI Nifty Index, PGI Mid Cap Opportunity, Canara Robeco Small Cap, Canara Robeco Blue Chip Equity, and Quant Small Cap.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
Asif, taking a look at your portfolio, you're putting in about 30,000 rupees every month in SIP. That's good. Please continue, and like you said, you're looking at long term. So fantastic. Please keep that up. That discipline is extremely important to create wealth over the long term. Your schemes are all fine. I don't see any reason to modify anything except maybe you want to reduce your exposure to small cap. Probably not the best time to reduce exposure to small cap because mid and small caps are really rallying, and the consensus views in the market that they'll continue to rally. But from a long-term wealth creation perspective, I think the allocation is too much. You've got about 50% of your allocation happening in mid and small cap. So maybe you can reduce your exposure to small cap and increase it to HDFC Flexi Cap. So Canada Robeco small cap, maybe you want to move that to HDFC Flexi Cap. So that way you will reduce your overall exposure to small cap, and you can continue your sales.
All right. Let's move on. Tejas Chauhan from Gujarat is on phone line with us. Hi, Tejas. How are you doing?
Hello.
Hi, Tejas. I think we have your question. Is there anything else that you want to add?
Can you speak in Hindi, madam?
जी बिल्कुल, मेरे ख्याल से आपका सवाल हमारे पास है। गौतम के पास मैं जाती हूँ सीधा और आपके सवाल पर सलाह लेते हैं। काफ़ी लंबा सवाल है, हालांकि डिटेल्स आपने काफ़ी अच्छे से लिस्टेड है दी हैं हमें। गौतम।
जी, सो तेजस, आपका 31,000 का सिप है महीने का, आपकी वाइफ का सिप मिला के, और आप चाहते हैं कि 2 करोड़ पहुंच पाए, टारगेट आपका है 10 साल में। अगर आप ये 31,000 करें और आपका जो लमसम का 3,27,000 है, इससे आपका 12% की रेट से अगर आप ग्रो करें 10 साल के लिए, तो ये आपका 81 lakhs बनेगा। तो आपको क्या चाहिए, एक्चुअली टोटल सिप आपको मूल्य आपको बढ़ाना पड़ेगा, और अगर आप हर साल, जैसे आपने बोला कि 10% से अगर आप बढ़ा सकते हैं, तो फिर आपको 63,000 का सिप से शुरुआत करनी पड़ेगी, जिससे आप इतनी 10 साल में वो 2 करोड़ का मूल्य पहुंच पाए। तो आप ऐसे करिए, इस सिप को जारी रखिए, और इसमें आप जितना बढ़ा पाए हर महीना हर साल वो करिए, और 10 साल की जगह आप थोड़ा खींच लेंगे 12-15 साल तक, तो फिर आप 2 करोड़ के और पास करीब पहुंच सकते हैं 12% के हिसाब से। आपके जो स्कीम्स हैं, स्कीम्स सब ठीक लग रहे हैं मुझे, तो उनको कंटिन्यू रखिए। आपका एलोकेशन भी अच्छा है, तो उसमें मैं कोई बदलाव नहीं करूंगा।
All right, we move on. Do we have our next caller on the phone line? All right, I will take Manoj Bajpayee's question, and he's investing in mutual funds, 23,000 per month, and DSP Quant Fund, Parag Parikh Flexi Cap, PGM Mid Cap Opportunity. He also has UTI Nifty Next 50.
So, Mr. Vajpayee, he's retiring in 6 years, and he has a SIP of 23,000 rupees per month. So, very simply, please continue your SIPs. Just one suggestion from a allocation perspective in your portfolio, because you got thematic, about 26% of your exposure is thematic with DSP Quant. Maybe you want to shift that to an ICICI Prudential Balanced Advantage Fund, which gives you a little bit more debt allocation and reduces the overall volatility in your portfolio.
All right, so that was the solution for Mr. Manoj Bajpayee. On that note, thank you so much, Gautam, for being on the show, helping our viewers with their financial portfolio queries. And time for me to sign off. I'm going to leave you with our WhatsApp number and email ID, where we keep waiting for your portfolio-related queries that we get answered by our experts live. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.